If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's October 20th, 2020. And today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the U.S. market's retreating. And so looking at today's economic events, nothing really scheduled for today, but we are starting earnings seasons. So first, looking at the currencies, it's a mixed bag. While the euro is stronger and the Aussie dollar is weaker, looking at the American indices, they did retreat and sell off yesterday. And looking at the commodities, gold also breaking the course, even though it looked like it was staying the course yesterday. But is it really breaking the course? We're going to take a look. All pretty much unchanged. Lastly, looking at the stocks, weakness across the board as we're entering earnings season. Today we have Netflix coming out with earnings. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're taking a look here at a 4-hour chart of the Euro USD, a nice little run up from yesterday to today. 70 pips, unbelievable, nice little challenge. Now, every time this gets around this area, this 17-ish area, it bounces off of it. Every time it gets about the 18-ish area, it sells off. So we do have that channel being actually set up, or the range bound, if you want to call it. Okay, so however, nothing really changing here in terms of our value. GBP USD, it's the same story, really sidelining here, looking also to set up what we call a wedge formation, okay, a symmetrical wedge formation that does look like it's being set up, okay? So just be aware of that as this is actually unfolding. And this usually creates an opportunity in one section or another, okay? We've got to keep an eye to see if the volume is getting higher on the sell-off or the volume getting higher on the spike. So that will give us a key into the direction of some kind of breakout from this symmetric wedge. Now looking at the Aussie dollar selling off this morning, okay, after some positive news from the United States, okay, and then the Aussie coming out with negative news, okay, and that's really what's catapulting this further down. Now, if we look at a daily chart, we're getting at that point, okay, that 19-ish point, which is really a very important point. Let's draw that line so we do have a reference for it, okay? This is a support level that we're at, okay? It's a multi-time frame support level and really very important, okay? Because if it does breach the 70, okay, we could go back to the 69.5, 67-ish level as well. So this is really an important level for it to be trading off of. I do expect it to bounce off of it, so keep this on the radar. Now the Rand continues to trade within this range, within this descending wedge formation. Let's see how this family pans out as it's getting closer to that final, apex of the triangle. Now looking at the gold breaking this area yesterday and this morning, okay, from 1901 right there, trading at that level right now. So this is really a very important level for gold, because if it does break this, then this will mean that it's developing a new channel, okay, a new trading range, somewhere between the 19 and 1914, somewhere around that range, okay? However, if it does close above this 1904, 1910-ish level, it could mean that we're pushing it higher, okay? So keep this in mind, because this is really unfolding. Looking at oil, like I said, really unchanged. Everything is factored in. OPEC meetings yesterday had no kind of bearing on the market, okay? The demand and the consumption of oil still down historically in light of the pandemic environment that we're in. Now, jumping into the Dow Jones, we sold off quite aggressively yesterday to 28,170 from 28,600-ish level, okay? Over a 400-point retracement there. Now, this is on the fact that stimulus packages happening, not happening, happening, not happening. This is going back and forth between the Democrats and the Republicans, and they're kind of dancing this way into the elections, trying to get one on top of each other, okay, in terms of, using the American people, unfortunately, as a tool for getting some more votes. Now, this is reflective of the Dow Jones. Now, we are at a significant, okay, and very important support level of 28,164. So I'm keeping an eye on this as this will develop today, because if they do come up with a stimulus package, this thing is going to bounce, okay, bounce quite aggressively. Now, looking at the individual stocks, we did see weakness. Apple selling off to 114. Facebook selling off down to 259. Microsoft as well selling off to 213, breaching that support level of 215. However, okay, I do want to emphasize this enough. If they do come up with a stimulus package, I expect the markets to rally today. Okay, so keep that in mind. It might not happen, it might happen. Okay, it's really news driven at this point in time, just because the markets are so fickle with what is happening and the unfolding news that is going on in the markets right now. Now, jumping into Netflix. Netflix is coming out with earnings later today. Okay, this is a significant importance as it has been trading, okay, and looking like it's making a triple top or a double top right there at the top of the range. Now, we're off that high of about 30 points, but we're still much higher than 464, which is where we were in our breakout. Okay, so keep this in mind as this is unfolding today. Okay, if they do beat its earnings, I do expect it to push higher, obviously. But if it does falter, we could get back to the fib 464. Now, this is just the beginning. Okay, next week we have Microsoft and all the other FANG stocks that are coming out with their earnings. Now, looking at the other stocks, everything really sold off. Alcoa did the fill in the gap. Okay, after it gapped down. Took a few days to fill in the gap, but finally did, and then selling off 1255. Okay, that's a classic move right there. And looking at JP Morgan, also trading at 99.82. Now, I do want to highlight the fact that the VIX is starting to perk up again. Okay, which means that anytime that there is a significant sell-off, okay, the VIX kind of gives us a little bit of a indication of how much we sold off. So this is actually giving us an indication that there's more volatility in the market. Okay, obviously with what happened yesterday. Okay, but you do want to keep an eye on this because this does gauge us in terms of our movements in the market. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.